Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
And hello, everybody. So glad to have you here. Another amazing episode of Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I have an amazing guest with us. So we're doing an energy scan show today, and the power of the energy scan is whatever I am tuning in to for my guests is something that you need to hear today too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening today. It'll be something that'll help spark something, ignite something within you that'll help you to move forward. And so I'm so grateful that we're here today with Judith Corvin-Blackburn, and we're going to bring her on officially in just one moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. Okay, Judith, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for being here today.
Hey, thank you, Daniel.
All right. Judith is just an incredible being, and she's doing phenomenal work over this entire lifetime and more, right? Okay.
Multiple lifetimes. We've all been there.
Right. I want to share more about her. Let me tell you about her. Judith Corvin-Blackburn, LCSW, and also Dr. DMin, put it that way. So is an award-winning author, internationally known teacher, transpersonal psychotherapist, and shamanic minister who has been inspiring people to step into joy, purpose, and inner authority for over 45 years. Her passion has been to guide and empower individuals to heal their wounds and reclaim their true soul nature so that collectively we can transform planet Earth into the loving, peaceful, creative place it's meant to be. Amen. She is the author of 3 books, Activating Your 5D Frequency, a guidebook to the journey into higher dimensions, also Empowering the Spirit, a process to activate your soul potential, also the Journey to Wholeness, a guide to inner healings from 1994. So she's definitely been after this, and 3 books. That's great. She's offers online and Zoom classes to empower one's spirit and to activate our higher frequency potential. And she is co-creator of the Global Shamanic Multidimensional Mysteries School. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, yes. So check out her website at www.empoweringthespirit.com. And there you can get a free gift. And she offers wisdom, inspiration, inspiring newsletters, downloads, also of the Sacred Contracts meditation. That sounds like a doozy. I mean, a good one. So again, grateful to have you here, Judith. Someone has done so much, and been with so much, and sharing from such a depth. I'm just so honored to have you.
Thank you, Daniel, and I'm honored to be here.
Okay. All right. So today, for the show, what we wanted to do is to mix things up. It's my very first show doing exactly this for a full, sort of show. So what we're doing is the energy scanning process that I do, energy scan consultation, which I do also, I do privately with people as well. So today, what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a brief time with Judith to highlight how amazing she is, and also to highlight maybe some of the things in her energy that are speaking to me to call her even further forward and bring us all forward further. So is it okay if we do that today for you, Judith?
Absolutely. And I loved what you said, Daniel, that this is also for everybody, because we're all so interconnected and we're all holding this. Exactly. And as we heal, right, we heal it all. So
yeah, it's like when we're tuning in this, well, Judith, you got this thing going on. Well, it's like, well, yeah, this is a held collective pattern. I've never seen it where it's really, at its essence, like just one person. It's like a collective pattern. So absolutely. So Judith, the first thing I want to just ask is there a particularly sort of, everybody faces some challenge, right? No, it doesn't matter who we are. We all face a level of a challenge or a sense of a challenge. We might use different words for it. This feels like a thing I'm moving through, or I'm good on it, but whatever. But like, we want to get into it today. So is there a particular challenge or something kind of coming up for you around going even further with your purpose, or further in your business and whatnot? And if so, what is that for you?
Well, that's such a wonderful question, Daniel, and it's very relevant for me right now. I spent my book, Activating Your 5D Frequency, came out in May of 2020. And I spent the year really promoting it, doing lots of interviews, which really helped the book. I mean, it really got out there. It hit the bestseller for Inner Traditions for quite a while. And I taught some classes, which were wonderful. However, at the end of it all, I was tired. And I pulled back for the summer. This is actually the first interview I've done for a while, which isn't exactly an interview, but and really it simultaneously, it feels like there's another book that's probably coming through, and I have some resistance. Do I want to work that hard? Or even better, how can I do it with ease, where I just go into the flow of it, do whatever's in front of me, and have a good time, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Because what I know is that when we're having a good time, it helps everybody. We want to step out of any kind of suffering modality and into how do we really spread this joy. So that's what's most up for me right now.
Oh my God, I feel like we could go in a whole hour just talking about that one thing. So I mean, it's people probably, that if people have listened to me a lot, they know. I mean, that's my jam. I'm always like, what's the easiest, simple, most joyful path for us with whatever we're doing? Because if it's not that, then it's coming from that part that's trying to prove something, that says, no,
Right.
We do the 100-hour week thing, we crush everything in sight and make it happen, conquer, and if you're in that phase, sometimes I say go for it, because I'm not going to talk you out of it. So go all the way. All that energy gets burned up eventually, whether it's this lifetime or another lifetime, as you know, Judith. So for you, you've just come to a point, you're like, whatever amount of again, that willpower, whatever you want to call it, like that motivational sort of, even if it's a little like, oh, I got motivation, I'm inspired, or whatever, like increasingly what's happening for people like us, people listening, like, is that just keeps like, no, not so much to that, no, more centered. And so that's what I'm hearing, is like, it's got to come from my depths. I'm hearing it is, I got to come from my great depth and from that flow, or no, and then there's the old pattern that says, wait a minute, are you stupid, or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm just saying in general, not necessarily even specifically for you. What are you, stupid? You need to get going, you need to do something. And this is what I find with a lot of people I work with, like, that's their old pattern. Like, yeah, you gotta do more. I've got to be on it. I've got to make this happen, or whatever. And so that's something that comes up for a lot of people. So in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and do the scan, go through your energy and whatnot. But I just want to reflect that, this is great, because this is something that's up for a lot of people. So I'll just give you a minute just to kind of respond to what I just said, Judith. So I'm sure it makes sense, but what reflections do you have so far?
Well, it's interesting because I have a bit of a different, my internal, it's based on a little bit different, where I think I've been really blessed. I haven't had to push a lot.
Right.
And it's really the feminine, that allows us just to flow.
Right.
But at the same time, my messages are you lazy or what?
Right.
Because I don't like to push. And that doesn't mean I don't take care of business, because I do. Right. I think there's a difference. But so that's my first reflection anyway.
Yeah, there we go. And so that shows. see people that have no issues with taking the lazy river, or whatever. I don't know, the flow river all the time. Don't, they're completely aligned with that, and that's their gig. Like they're not even, that doesn't come up for them necessarily. Like, oh, maybe I'm lazy. They already realize like this is just me. I don't question that. So, but like for those of us that have a history in this life or past lifetimes of like, let's get after it. That idea, it's definitely an idea that comes up for me, right? Like, what are you, being lazy or like that idea can come up for us, right? So let's take a look at like where that may be coming from, and then take a look overall, anything else that wants to be shared today for you to help move you forward in the direction that you're saying you want to go, and see what wants to unfold. Like I love just to, well, let's see it. Does another book want to happen? All that stuff. So sound good, Judith?
That sounds great.
Awesome. So let's just take a few minutes to do that. Let me tune in for a moment. Yeah. So I kind of get with your connection with source and all that stuff, whatever, all the connections, but like that connection with the divine and the higher beings, whatever, like all that, like it comes through the third eye, and it's just like, oh, it's so crystal clear. This is the way we proceed with everything. Like, like it's just so matter of fact. Like it's so clear on that level. So at that level, it's just like crazy simple and easy. But then I see down in the energetic body more so, where so you can see that for others, but then energy I see showing up in your energy and body is more it gets more squirrely about it. I want to say, like, well, I don't know, maybe we got to hop this way or got to hop that way, and it wonders, and this is like, no, it's just so easy, just go this way. And so like, so there's other energies like wondering like which direction do we need to squirrel away some more nuts for the winter, kind of feeling, and that sort of thing. So let me tune into that a little bit more. So when I go to the like sacral chakra, power center area, it does again, you've done so much, you probably aware of these things, but good reminders, like the feeling of those starvation cycles of past life, like there's not enough, we gotta get going, we gotta make it happen. And then your soul is evolved, you've evolved in your understanding wisdom to understand, okay, I'm provided for, I understand that, I would get that, I'm going to be provided for, but there's still a pattern underneath it, like that will question, like, even if it's subtle, like sometimes people, well, not that much, but it's still there. So whatever amount it is, it's kind of like, well, we got to keep going. We got to keep doing more things. Really, you can't just like go deeper and think that's going to work. We're going to starve, like, so let me tune into that a little bit more first before we explore it more. Yeah, like there's this part, like again, this may be a metaphor, maybe your past life, but I like see you like as this really magical, like being like maybe in a past life, and could be like Egyptian times or something like that. And I just get a sense of like there's people suffering, but like you're doing your work and you're like insulated, you're fine, you're taken care of, and you're not it feels like you're not super connected with the people that are suffering, like you're not super connected with that, it just feels that way. But there's this idea of like, yeah, well, you're just kind of doing all your magic, like people are suffering out there, like what's your problem? So somehow this idea takes root somewhere on a timeline, and then it's like, whoa, maybe there's things I should be, maybe I'm getting too deep into that place, into the mystical place, where maybe I'm not acknowledging like things that are really happening for people. So not saying again this life maybe, but like a past life. So like getting too disconnected from the outer, like what seems to be happening in the world. So let me tune into that, where people sense like people are starving, struggling, whatever, all these things, all the pain they're dealing with. We'll learn. Yeah, it's like I'm ascending, but are people coming with me is the feeling. So are people actually coming with me? Geez, I keep throwing them out a life raft, but only so many will take it. It kind of sucks. It's the feeling I get around. Like I wish more would take the life raft, so to speak. Just as again metaphor. So let me see about that. So then the idea comes, well, if maybe if you weren't so lazy, maybe you could get a few more on.
There you go.
So let me tune into the deeper, real truth of it all. Okay, because I mean, yeah, it's like that's it. We're laughing because it's the insanity of the mind, right? Oh, of course, you got to work harder at that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so allowing yourself to get more rooted in the understanding and knowing, like, rooted, really deeply rooted beyond wherever you've been before. Okay, deeply rooted in, like, listen, I mean, we're just all here playing this game here, getting back into that you already know, but like, we're kind of just playing a game here. Maybe part of me is getting a little too tied up in this game, like making it a little too real at times. So like, okay, so I just grounded into understanding, okay, I'm just playing my part here. I'm meant to have fun. I'm meant to joyfully serve in the way I'm meant to, knowing that, each of these souls, again, if they've chosen these paths, they're infinite beings just horsing around, like, yeah, cut my arm off every day or whatever, like hurting themselves, like, but in a big picture, they're just doing something they've chosen to experience at this time. And when they're ready to be like, oh yeah, Judith, I want to, go to 5D and beyond or whatever. Like, so, and the way to connect with them, the way that people want to come in is from this depth of connection that you have. And you'll be able to build a greater energetic foundation for more to be available, for people to access more by going deeper. So by getting grounded and going deeper, what happens is you mindfully can build structures that can support people in a way that's fun and easy and maybe more automated is a feeling. That automatically, like, people, I hear referrals, people get referred in. They want to get in, they get an invitation, maybe, hey, you can get into this thing, like, and they get referred in, and then like it builds from there, and then you just, like, again, metaphors, mother hen, you're just mother hen it, like, yeah, I'm here and I just do my thing, you guys go out and help bring people in, and I've got all these automated ways to let things come in. So we covered a bunch of different bases. This is kind of, again, this is an example. It gives people an example of how I work when I'm helping people to, okay, how's this want to move forward, to the energy I want to move forward. So first, like, what are we picking up on for that being, and then it gets starting. I already establishing that sort of by me talking about it and feeling the energy, letting it drop in. And so anyway, I'm going to be quiet now and let you reflect on what I've shared so far today, Judith. So any reflections, questions, etc.
Oh, okay, let's see. It's really interesting, Daniel. And the Egyptian piece is very interesting. This lifetime I've, had, I guess, what you would call a lot of social consciousness, but it may well have come from what you said of getting very into the esoteric and not knowing quite how to make the bridge.
Right.
So I really hear that. And one of the things I know is we don't shift the planet to a beautiful, loving, harmonious place that it's supposed to be unless we have empowered people.
Right.
And so that is part of my mission about that empowering. But the interesting thing is, today I had pulled up this very beginning of this new book, because the part that was really coming through is responsibility. How scared we are collectively to really step into the fact that we create all of this.
Right.
And so that is the bridge to understand on some level. everybody has the ability to do this.
Right. Exactly. You're waking people up to, again, I'm just using my words and my lingo, is like to the game that they are playing. Because that's one of the things that I think is so healing, like that I continue to need to remind myself of, right? And then reminding other people of is like, hey, you're creating all this stuff. Enjoy it. I mean, it's okay. You're doing this, you're creating it, you because you wanted to experience this. Because otherwise it goes into shame and guilt and all that stuff. So your gift is be able to, you deeply are connected to that understanding, and you can bring people into that. And then you can say, hey, you want the land of milk and honey where you want to experience something different now. Okay, I can offer that. Let me help you with that. Okay, no problem. So that's what I'm seeing. And then your energetic and shamanic gifts and all that stuff, helps put people into that state of being, and community is really important. It seems for what you're doing, for that shared community where we all realize, hey, we're not crazy. This is who we truly are, and support one another.
Right. Absolutely, Daniel. And the connections that I have made in this, I ran a class on my book, and I'm going to be running it again. But it was a 10-week class, and the 10th week was when everybody brought in their visions of a 5D world.
Yeah.
And when you talk about community, because I have my metaphor, this 5D global team, that we're all working together and doing our part to bring this into fruition. But what my students brought in was just incredible. And, this has to keep happening. We have to keep gathering together to put out these visions. And so I know I need to get over my lazy river stuff in whatever, or I shouldn't say that. I know I need to find a way to weave it.
Yes.
Such a way that the work gets out and I don't get burned out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a believer actually of affirmations. I don't know if you like affirmation, but I mean, so you might come up with an affirmation that maybe you write it down, maybe you read it each day. This is something I recommend to people because it works like magic for me. I write these things that I just read them once per day and they just start happening. I don't have to put any conscious will in it other than doing that. So you might have something like, because it's just a judgment. Oh, I'm lazy. It's not true. Because it's the practice of the presence that you're in is what you're doing. And if you get lazy with that, then nothing's going to work right. So it's not going to work optimally. So you could get lazy in that way. Like I'm busy doing a lot of stuff, but I'm not practicing present. Now you're really lazy. So, okay. So, what you think is lazy is actually being very deeply engaged, Now, if you're checking out, you're just screwing around all the time and, that's okay. But like you're doing that all the time, you're not really connected. That's a different story. But I'm saying it like more like this depth of connection. So you might come up with a counter affirmation like, actually I'm full-time being embodied and whatever and rocking it with full focus and synergy and whatever. What I don't know what the affirmation be for you. Come up with one that counteracts the sense of I'm lazy though. Like that's what I recommend for you. Yeah.
Yes, and that makes sense, Daniel. It's really a reframe of the word.
Yeah, exactly.
I am flowing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm flowing. Yeah.
One thing I'm going to pop in there, because I do feel one of my gifts, because I've been a psychotherapist for so many years, is I understand how our programmed psyche works. And so one thing that I always say to people about affirmations is listen to the counter affirmation too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because typically we have unconscious stuff. So, I'm going to expand and step fully into blah, blah, blah. And then underneath is, oh, that's what you think.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying is like
into consciousness and calm it down and move forward.
Well, that's the brilliance of what I was, this isn't my method. This is something that's given to me. It's like, I guess came from Sark came up with this. Like when you have these false beliefs, it's like you just counteract it with something that's just the opposite. And so when that thought comes up, oh, wait a minute, actually, and use that word actually, it helps to counteract it. It works really well.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what I have to share on that. So you're ready to rock by going deeper and letting more help in. If you let more hands get in there to help you from a state of flow and a state of just joy, and not like, well, we're building something, we got to make something happen, but like, just like, hey, can you share? Can you share? Just asking people to share. Hey, can you share? Can you share? Your students, others, etc. Can you share about this? Just in a lazy river way. It doesn't have to be a big thing, right? So so that's the sort of direction I get. That's not the fullness of everything. Of course, we can only give so much in today's show, but that's a way to kind of handle this thing that's been coming up for you. That'll let things be easier.
Yeah. Okay.
And then last thing is just like, you have another book. You obviously you have gazillions of books. I think it's a matter of following your sense of synergy and timing for letting it happen. So, I mean, you might not start writing it. You might start writing it right away, but like maybe you don't start writing it till January, or when that moment comes when you're like, I'm not trying to push getting this next book out, but also today, just feel like today's the day to get started on it. Like, approach it more like that, and then you might come up with a committed focus towards it. But let it come at the right time, because I really believe in timing. Things have to come in the right timing. So that's the last thing I wanted to share about, because that was something I hadn't answered yet. So
yes, that makes perfect sense, and I have felt that as well.
Yeah.
And I've observed it. I've been around in this lifetime for a long time. So it's like, 20 years ago, I thought something might be happening, but it wasn't supposed to happen then.
Right, exactly.
And so it is riding the rhythms and tuning into that.
Yes. So if people want to learn more about you and be able to come in and learn more about you, then we're going to put in the show notes your link here, empoweringthespirit.com, www.empoweringthespirit.com. We could connect with you can connect with Judith through that and get that downloadable Sacred Contracts meditation, ongoing inspiration, wisdom from her as well. And anything else you want to share briefly with everybody right now, Judith?
Oh gosh, I was ready to end this, Daniel.
I know it's deep. It's like, oh no, we're like keep going deeper with this whole thing, right?
Well, I really just want to thank you, and just to say, yes, in whatever form it comes up for the people that are listening, it may have very different metaphors, as you say.
Yes.
But we're all in this one together.
Yes.
And we all have an essential part to play. And many of us have resistances to fully stepping into it. And that's all part of the journey. So I think that's where I would, those are my final words for this minute.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks for sharing, Judith. And then if people want to check me out, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. There is an opportunity there to go ahead and put in an application to get an energy scan consultation with me if you like to receive, something like what Judith just received. Feel free to do that. And there's also a meditate, make money meditation there. You could take advantage of, where people can just download and get attuned and make more money just by getting attuned and hearing your guidance every day. And it works, folks. People are using it, are telling me that they're seeing the new flow and new ease and new business, by doing so. So check it out at yoursacredpurpose.com. All right, great. Well, Judith, I'm just so grateful to be with you. Any last things? Any very last words you want to share with everybody before we wrap it up?
The words that are coming through, which are surprising me, is don't doubt yourself.
Yes. And don't doubt your true self is how I'm hearing it. Like for me, as you say that, right? Like don't doubt your true self. Because that's where I always find, like, if I'm slipping off, that's what's happening. Like my true infinite self's like, oh my God, like everything's just, everything just is. It's so easy and everything. Then I'm freaked out. So I was like, oh my God.
And that's the final piece is we can do this.
Yes. Okay, awesome. I so appreciate that. Thank you, Judith. I'm so glad to have had you on today. Thank you for everyone that's listening. And as I always say, to wrap up the show, keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time, everyone. Goodbye for now.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.